Well, it's raining. It's raining. It's a hard rain. It's gonna fall during the entire day. Probably I won't be able to do my morning walking today. So it's a day of rest. And yesterday, on Christmas Day, I spent the entire day farting the breast deep cut of meat. Oh, yes. I had to look on the AI overview on Google. Let me read it for you what I ate for Christmas Day yesterday. The breast deep cut of meat is a cut of beef from the forequarter of the cow, between the sixth and the seventh ribs. To remove the breast tip, you can insert a knife between the ribs and cut it as if removing a forequarter. What a beautiful way. And there's a drawing of a cow here. I can click on it. So the breast tip cut of meat, man, full of fat, beautiful. Yes, and I'm still having some because I I baked lots of meat and I stored in the fridge the leftover. So today I will continue to farting barbecue. Oh yes, by the grace of God Almighty, man, who provides us with animals, we are able to domesticate animals, not only plants and grains and cereals, but we evolved to domesticate animals for our consumption, And today's Thursday, December 26th. It's 4:44. It's 4:45 now. Oh, it was 4:44. I see numbers like repeating numbers all the time. 333, 444, 1111. Yeah. The spiritualist says that when you see that, the universe is giving you a message. Oh yes. What a bullshit. Actually, we spend most of our times looking at the clock, at the cell phone or at the computer, and those coincidences happen to become more visible, as the mean use of technology. And I'm making this video in the dawn because I don't know, if the rain doesn't stop and I won't go for my morning walking, I will probably sleep. Oh yes, because I was reading. I drink my yerba mate. My yerba mate, I drink it in the dawn and in the afternoon, and I was reading. Let me show you the book again so you can have an overview of the cover. I'm reading this book here, Those Who Have Vanished, An Introduction to Prehistory, by Ronald L. Wallace. He was a professor, a doctor of history and archaeology, you know. What university, man? I forgot the university. University of Florida, I guess. Central University of Florida. And I'm starting reading now about the Egyptians, and I will start chapter 12, I guess, which deals with the Hindus. Oh, yes. I have passed, let me show you here. I have passed the over the, I have passed the half of the book. Yeah. So if I continue reading a lot as I'm reading twice a day, probably I will finish this book um, until New Year's Day. So yeah, it's a very good book actually. It says here my name. I put a date here, September 1st, 2002. I just found this book on the garbage, on the trash, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Boston. It's used. It's a large book, man. Oh, yes. Reading for having culture to spit on the structure, as Ralph Sachs, the composer and the Brazilian composer and singer of rock and roll, used to sing in one of his songs. It lacks culture to spit on the structure, man. Oh, yes. And I bought another kind of rope tobacco, which is it's the same one that I was smoking before, kind of moisture. I'm having trouble lighting up and smoking and grinding it. So because I couldn't buy the regular smaller one, which comes in a plastic bag, which is a little more dried because it stays in the plastic, which is easier to grind it, but also tastes good. I wouldn't able I wasn't able to buy it yesterday because the market was closed. Everything was closed here yesterday, man. The rain is calming down. It won't stop because I looked in the Apple weather app here. I'm on my Mac OS now. You can see the quality of the camera image. It doesn't compare to Linux. Linux is good too, but nothing compared to Mac OS, man. And that's why you saw the intro and you're gonna see the ending of this video. I am the multiform misanthropist for you, baby. The multiform misanthropist. Why? Because it happens that I hate people. My life experiencing with people, it's like made me come to the conclusion that people suck. I am people too. I am a person, so I suck too. I don't exclude myself. The truth is, man, that if you put people to live together in a house, let us say, let's give you an example. Uh, you select like a group of people, like let us say 10 people, who happen to respect one another over the internet. They like each other, but they communicate only over the internet, right? They are distant from each other. 10 people. You put this group of 10 people inside a house to live for 6 months. For 6 months, they will start to hate each other because they will start to know each other better, you know. their their habitual things, all their way of doing things, and they will start to criticize each other, to hate each other, and eventually fights will happen among this group because people are like this, man. That's why couples, marriage couples, they fight a lot. And it's true that the fight then unite the couples again, because you fight, you come to an understanding, or maybe not, you maybe come to a divorce or something. It comes to a point where things become so, I would say, what's the word? In a couple marriage life, it comes to a point where love gives place to friendship, you know. Some couples live a life of friendship. They don't have pleasure anymore doing sex. It's all the same repetition, you know. The first I would say the first 2 or 3 years of a marriage life is one thing, and then after this period, things start to change, and the relationship, the marriage life starts to become, um, what's the word? It starts to become like, simplistic and full of repetitions. I can't find the proper word now to say, I'm sorry about my English, man. The rain stops. The rain stopped. The rain stopped. Yeah, but I come here to my Apple weather app. It says there is 50 chance percent of precipitation at 5 o'clock, which are 5 minutes. We are 5 minutes left to 5 o'clock. It's 5 minutes to 5 o'clock, 4:55. There's precipitation chance of 50% from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. So if I go out thinking that, oh, the rain stopped, I'm gonna do my morning walk, I will catch with the rain outside and I will get wet. A man should not get wet. A woman should get wet. I want a woman who is wet. Yeah, a woman should be wet. A man should be tough, tough, hard. A woman should be wet, warmy, hot, moisture. That's how things come to a happy end. At the beginning, the beginning, there is a happy end. At the end, there is an unhappy beginning. That's how things work in a relationship. I'm not a specialist in relationships. You know, I consider myself to be a semi-virgin man. I don't have much sexual experience, but anyway, man, any woman available to fuck me, I'm open. Not to a relationship. I don't want to get into a relationship, man. No, no, fuck no. Relationships, they the relationships, man, they serve to one thing. You spend money, you spend your energy, and you get enraged. You get into fights and discussions and arguments. That's bullshit. That's why I'm a loner. I'm a loner, man. 15 minutes, time's up. Have a good one, man.